Um, okay, so can you talk to me about media you consume when you're not learning anything from it? It's just for entertainment?
Uh, well, that's interesting. I media I consume daily. Uh, I like watching anime a lot, and I like playing video games a lot. It's the only thing I really much do, really.
Okay. What kind of anime do you watch?
Um, are you familiar with One Piece?
Yeah. You like
Yeah.
One Piece?
Yes, heavily actually. I can tell you how much I like it. Well, because I collect figurines for it. So,
Okay. So you like it better than, say, Naruto Shippuden?
oh, well, I started with Naruto and I respect it, but I kind of grew out of it and I just kept watching other anime. But I started with it and yes, I did like it.
So, do you look specifically for series that have a shit ton of episodes?
Not really. I'd say more there's I just watch it just because let's see let's see if it's good or not. But not because of mm, I'd say I don't watch anime for like I do watch videos of people talking about how the anime and the story and how it's written is consistent and whatever. But I'm not after that. I'm kind of more after like those good moments, the feelings and all that. I guess you could say the battles and all that.
Okay. Have you ever consumed it in manga form or just in anime form?
Can you say that again? You cut out.
Have you ever consumed it in manga form or just in anime form?
Both, both.
Okay. So, all right. Now, the other thing you said besides anime was playing computer games?
Yeah, video games.
Video games. Okay. Do you like first person shooters, resource distribution games, puzzle solving games, or something else?
Definitely first person shooters. Yeah.
Okay. And is there one in particular that you like better than the other ones?
Um, that's a good one. That's a good one because I like them all for different reasons. But I would say one that I really enjoyed would be Battlefield.
Okay. Do you listen to music when you're playing video games, or do you listen to the music that is built into the video game?
Um, no, I don't listen to music while playing video games at all, unless I'm playing a game that can facilitate me playing background music because that would be annoying in game to listen to music. But yes, I do like listening to in-game music. Yeah, and
Okay.
sound.
Um, Is part of the enjoyment you get out of those first person shooters does it have a lot to do with upgrading your gear as you improve over time, or is it just the is it more the tactic strategy of events?
Hmm. I definitely say more like upgrading, yeah, the weapons and yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Do you can you talk to me about back when you were in high school? Did you what was your relationship like with writing papers for English class or
Writing papers for English class.
or whatever class that you had to write papers for?
Well, I'll tell you this. Uh, in general, I did not like doing anything in school.
Okay.
Yeah,
Was there
but
some things you liked worse than others?
uh, I didn't necessarily like working, writing on papers like in English class. To give you a more in detailed answer, I would actually uh put effort into like when the teacher would. I remember back in when I was taking I believe that is 10th grade is it sophomore or yeah, sophomore, I believe, right? It's 10th
Yeah,
grade.
as sophomore.
Yeah, so in sophomore year, I was told to do a write a story with incorporating literary elements in it. And while I didn't want to do it because I was being told to do it, I did put effort into it and came up with some weird World War II story. And I just like it wasn't good. I just like made a story and made sure to put literary elements in there. But I did do it.
Are you a better visual? Are you better at visually painting a picture of a scene, like with drawing or paintings, or painting a picture of a scene with words?
Painting a picture out of an opinion versus painting a picture of a
No, no,
what?
painting a picture of a scene.
Oh,
So, like describing a scene with words, is that going to give your reader a clear sense of what they're looking at, or are you going to do a better job of of showing the scene by drawing a picture of it?
I'd say you give me words and I can make a picture out of it, I guess.
Okay. Let's try it the opposite way here. I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to show you a couple of pictures, and I want you to tell me what you think what you think they mean, or just whatever interpretation you have of them. Okay. So first, I need to go like Mia, and then I need to go like Mia and Mia and a window. This one. Okay. What do you think that's a picture? What do you make of that?
Okay, well, I see seems like a river and some trees and the wind flowing through the trees and the moonlight, I guess, casting over like the trees and the wind. I'm not sure if that's a sun or a moon. Could be.
Okay. I think it's a moon.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't draw these pictures, by the way. So, does it present to you any kind of like specific emotion?
Um, Loneliness.
Okay.
A serene, calm.
How about this one? Oh, it's not showing yet. Okay, hold on. Oh, I see what happened. Okay. So how about this one here? Stupid thing.
Hmm. Um, well, I see. Um, Obviously, it seems like someone of high status. Like it almost it gives me vibes of like a I don't know like a religious person. I don't know like Jesus Christ on a mountain or something. That type of feeling, and everybody's just like, so look at him. Wow.
Look at that guy with that stuff coming out of him.
Yeah. It's
O-
so.
Okay, so do you think it has any particular mood, or it's just representative of that kind of a scene?
I think it's representative of that kind of a scene because I can't feel like any mood.
Okay. How about how about this one? What mood does this tell you?
Uh, I get like angry, like rampaging, a lot of rage, like imploding with it just everywhere.
Okay. Does does looking at a picture like that make you feel like uncomfortable, or does it have any impact on you?
Uh, Not really. I think it looks cool.
What about this one?
Mm, I'd say it makes me feel. I wouldn't say it makes me feel particularly anyway. It's
What
just it looks strange.
looks strange, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Uh, if you were to tell a story about why a person is sitting in a room while they've apparently drawn a three-armed person on the wall, each arm holding a sword, why have they done that? What's the story behind that?
Wait, if I were to tell a story?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'll share that picture again so you can look at it. Tell the story of this picture. Like what's going on here? Um. Oh shit! I closed that one. Let me reopen it again. No, not that one.
I
This one.
can go on from memory.
This one here. Okay. So looking at this picture here, um, tell me the story.
Hmm, I don't know. Uh, a person was sitting in a room and had a bunch of I guess bunch of ancient texts, and he summoned a weird spherical object that conjured three arms with swords, and you can see the letters coming out of the text. That's the story I can tell.
What happened after the conjuring?
What happened after the conjuring of it?
Is it an evil entity or a good entity or something in between?
Uh, I'd say a neutral. I don't know. It looks neutral to me. It doesn't seem evil.
Okay, let's say uh, a 25-year-old woman meets her stepmother for lunch at a restaurant downtown. Now, I want you first to tell me what's the expected context, like what's what's a normal, perfectly obvious reason why that might happen, and then I want you to tell me one that's as unlikely or undisparate with that as possible.
Okay, so the most likely scenario would be they're just meeting there, uh, well, because well, she has a good relationship with her stepmother, and they're just having fun eating out. The most unlikely scenario, um, that I could think of, going off of, I don't know, maybe they're there because, uh, I don't know, they're speaking about a divorce at a restaurant.
So the young woman married her stepmom.
Uh, no. Uh, Maybe talking about a divorce regarding her real dad
Oh, I see.
there
Okay.
publicly, I guess. Though that's now thinking about it, that is a weird thing to be talking about at a restaurant.
Maybe they both went to the restaurant because they're planning to have a competition to see who can burn it down the fastest.
Could be.
Okay. Let me ask you some TE questions. Can you describe for me in exactly 5 steps the process of putting your groceries away?
Your groceries. Oh, okay, so all right. As in like coming out freshly out of the grocery store?
No, I mean like you've driven your groceries home in your car. Your car is parked there. Now
Oh,
you've got a car full of groceries, but that's not where they're supposed to be.
how do I get there? Okay, so I would obviously get out of the car. Wait, you said 5 steps. Okay. So, all right. Assuming that everything's ready, I would grab as much bags that I can. Mhm. And I would step 2 is walk all the way to the entrance of the door of my house. 3 is open the doors. 4 is place the groceries down in the kitchen. And step 5 is go back to the car, and then we repeat the process from step 1.
Okay. So really, you gave me a set of steps that's in some multiple of five. It could be 5 steps, could be 10 steps, could be 15, but it's gonna be a multiple of five. Okay, cool. Do you have any thoughts about how to solve the problem of air pollution in general?
Air pollution. Well, that's kind of complex. Solve the problem of air pollution. Well, you see, it's kind of hard to answer questions when you're kind of ignorant about that. Uh, I know, I know about how cars emit, I believe, greenhouse emissions and factories and all that. Uh, I
Okay,
guess.
let me make it a more local problem.
Okay,
You pretend you go regularly to a certain bowling alley near your house because you like to go bowling. But this bowling alley allows people to smoke in there. And it's the only bowling alley within 100 miles of you. But it's always full of smoke. And the secondhand smoke bothers you. What do you do? How do you solve this problem?
okay, well, I have zero authority. I can't just go and just tell one to, hey, stop smoking in here. I don't know. I probably like, I don't know, contact like the manager of the place or something. Some figurehead of authority that runs the place and just ask him, hey, there's people smoking here. I come here and it kind of bothers me. I just want to have a fun time, but I can't, have fun when I'm literally being, just being intoxicated with that. Is there something we can do about it? Because I'm missing
Well,
a,
okay, sir. I'm thinking maybe what you should do is take up smoking. Then it won't bother you.
yeah, I mean, personally, yeah, I would like, uh, wait, okay, wait. We should take out smoking.
No, no,
Should I,
you should take it up. You should start smoking. That way it won't bother you when you come in here.
if he says that?
Just that's the manager's suggestion to you.
Wow, I was so oblivious to that joke. Good one. Yeah. It's funny. It's funny, but I can't laugh anymore at it.
Okay. So let's say that he says, "Okay, well, we let people smoke in here. Why don't you wear a mask? Like it was COVID. That should help." Would you feel satisfied with that amount of effort on his part, or is that going to be inadequate effort?
Inadequate because I would figure even though okay, even though because this is totally I would do something like that. I would start off first like I don't want to say selfish, but motivated by self-interest like oh, I can't stand these people smoking. And I go over there because I don't want to smell this. But then it would devolve into like, oh, wait, thinking about it, I'm not the only one that probably gets annoyed by this. Other people do. So, no, wearing a mask just for me would be quite annoying. It'd be annoying to come here and just wear a mask all the time. So,
Yeah.
no.
Okay. Cool. So, can you tell me about your relationship with task completion and whether or not you make lists lists of things you need to do, and if you check things off of those lists?
No. I don't like tasks. I find it um I find it really annoying when I know I have to do something, but people tell me to do it. It it makes me go crazy. Like, stop! I know I have to do it. I know, I know I'll get it done. But at the same time, it's like, even though it annoys me, I kind of need it to remind me, like to put pressure on me to get it done. You know, because if it's on my terms, then I'll get it done when I feel like it.
Right.
Mm.
So let's say that somebody said to you, I've got this list of small tasks, which include I need you to get an image of a birthday cake with yellow candles from Google Images. I need you to find an original recording of the London Symphony playing Schubert's Nya on MP3 that's in the public domain. And I need you to gather a bunch of empty cans from around your house and put them in a pile in front of the camera. And when you've completed those tasks, you'll be given $100.
Uh, I like it because uh, it's telling me what to do, so I don't have to figure it out, which would be a kind of annoying thing. I could do it, but it's annoying. It's definitely helps that, okay, I know what to do. I'll get it done, especially because, they have a reward at the end. It's more compelling for sure. But if, let's say, if you told me, well, do this, uh, because it will make me happy, and there's nothing, no money in there, I do it. I do it.
Okay, so let's say that I set that up and said, okay, so here's the situation. When you complete these tasks, if you complete these tasks, you'll be given $100. But you have not officially committed to completing these tasks. You haven't said either way whether you're going to or not.
Okay.
Um, does that make you more or less likely to actually do them, or does it have no impact?
As in the reward?
No, the fact that you didn't say either way whether you were going to do it.
Um, no, it doesn't impact. It doesn't impact. Like if I had beforehand, like if they just throw out, okay, do this. I want you to do this. No, I wouldn't feel compelled to do it after, even if I hadn't committed to it at all.
Okay, well, what if they said, hey, look, I need this job done by Friday. Today's Saturday. It's 6 days from now. And it's those three things I said. And I'm going to pay the person who does it $100. Will you commit to taking the job? Of course, I'll need it by Friday. And if like you say on Friday, you know what, I didn't do it, and it's really going to screw me up. So don't take the job unless you really know you're going to do it.
Um, uh, if I were in a position where I had no choice, I had to do it. Well,
But you
not
don't have no choice, though. I'm saying you're in a position where you do
yeah,
have a
yeah,
choice.
yeah, yeah. When you add the I'm gonna get screwed over part, um, I do it thinking about that. Like, well, I'm not gonna lie, yeah, the $100 seems good, but I definitely do it more because, uh, man, that person's gonna be screwed if I don't do it. So,
All
yeah, I
right,
would.
let's say your buddy Joe calls you up and says, "Hey, come on, meet me at 4th Street Bar and Grill. We're having beers. They're on me. Let's go. See you in 5 minutes."
Would I go? That's the question. I see.
Would you go? Would you ask questions of him? Would you say thanks for the invitation? I might go. Would you? would you say you're going to go and probably not go after all, or what? What any of those kind of things?
Well, it depends. If it's my buddy Joe, then it's got to be a close friend. And I would say, probably say no, because, well, I'd be honest. I don't like bars. So that'd be kind of strange going
He
to a
says,
bar.
"Listen, listen. This is a lot more like a gastropub, okay? It's not really a bar. It's like a gastropub. You'll love it. It's got ferns in the corners."
No, probably not. I'd be like, I'd suggest somewhere else to go or something.
What if he says, also, Paul McCartney's playing a one night only show at this restaurant, at this bar as well.
Um, man, uh, I know who Paul McCartney is. I haven't listened to every song of him, but I have listened to like uh some of his songs. I don't know. I'd be like, at first I'd be like, whoa, Paul McCartney. But I'd be like, I'm still not going. Not even for that.
Okay, what if it's a party at somebody's house? It's like a party. It's a going away party. They're leaving to go study snails in France. More likely to go than to a bar.
I still wouldn't go. Like, assuming this is Buddy Joe. Buddy Joe, right?
Well, Buddy Joe invited you, but it's your friend Mary, who you knew from high school. She's leaving to go study snails in France now.
Well, yeah, because she's a friend and she's telling me to come.
No,
And
she didn't. She didn't invite you. Joe, she forgot to invite you. Joe
well,
invited you. She invited Joe, and Joe's like, "Will you come with me to Mary's going away party?"
I would be like, no,
Be-
because well, actually, yeah, we're friends with Mary. No, actually, wait. I'm friends with Mary, so I'd actually first ask, whoa, how many people are going to be there? You know, uh,
okay. Do you want more or less people? More or fewer?
I'd prefer it if it was just like a small party with maybe like my friends' relatives or a few tight knit of close group of known people. If it's a lot of people that are like closely associated to him and the other are closely associated to that, and no.
What do you think if that somebody starts initiating structured activities like now we're gonna play charades? Are you down with that?
No, still no.
No. Okay, so you want an unstructured party where you just mill around.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Sorry. I was still thinking about how many people would be there. I still wouldn't go. Okay.
Structured activities. If you're at a party and someone says, "Hey, we're gonna play some structured activities. We're gonna play pin the tail on the donkey. We're gonna play charades."
Um, yeah, I'd be down for it.
Okay. Can you talk to me about any kind of activities you like to do that are outside activities like hiking, biking, walking, surfing, taking pictures of leaves, whatever?
Um, I definitely like walking and biking for sure. I like biking. In fact, I'm gonna put a little of what I used to do back in when I used to live in Puerto Rico. I would, well, I wouldn't sleep early for that. I would be, I would be awake all night, and once 5 a.m. hit, when it was dawn, I would ride my bike just to see like the sunrise, and I like that. I like that a lot. And yeah, I like walking too. Walking too.
Okay. So, you like to look at the sunrise because it makes the sky various colors, or what?
I like it because yeah, it does. It's beautiful as the sun's coming out. The twilight and whatever the
Do you,
color. It's
do you
called.
take photos?
Yes, I have taken photos before of myself and of the sunrise, the sun.
Okay, cool. Um, do you have any kind of social media publishing platform that you're active on?
Uh, I I actually have a Facebook, but um, I'm not active as of now. I actually deleted it just because uh um it actually makes me feel not good, not good, and takes away time, so it's
Yeah,
kind of
I don't use Facebook either.
like
Very, very
it,
rarely. But when you were posting on Facebook, what kind of things did you post? Did you post links to things external to Facebook? Did you post like personal anecdotes about you wouldn't believe what happened at the store today? Did you post
um
pictures of yourself or what?
uh I would always just share funny stuff or things that were just my interest. So I would post, let's say like One Piece related stuff, anything that like I like at the moment, or any funny stuff, just stupid memes or whatever. But the thing is that, and I know I'm sidetracking here again. It's just I stopped using it because it's like when you use Facebook, at least the primary reason I would use it is because it's honestly you just want people to like your stuff. It's really that, you're just looking for like that sort of attention. And I'm at a point where like I feel like, well, nobody reacts to my stuff and whatever. And in life, like currently, right now, my situation, well, I've been 3 years since I left Puerto Rico, and I'm kind of lonely here. I don't really have friends where I'm at right now. And I just said, you know, I gotta stop relying on external stuff and whatever. If I'm alone, I'm alone. I'll just, I done away with Facebook and whatever. And I do have friends. They're not with me, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, and how and do you feel as though engaging with people like via video conference is makes a big difference compared to engaging with them in person?
Uh, I'd say that it's about the same because you're looking at them. You can or you can talk to them and see their facial expressions and whatever, as opposed to text. When you text something, it can be interpreted in a different way, and
Yeah,
you,
text is tricky.
yeah,
Text is really tricky.
yeah, you piss people off for no reason. I'm like, bro, no, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. Let's talk in person. You'll see what I mean.
Yeah, right. And as somebody who reads a fair amount of comments, periodically I'll go through and look at bunches of comments and go, okay, see what people have been saying or whatever. Um, I know sometimes I conclude that a person is being snarky when they're not. So it's like anybody's susceptible to this misreading of things. Um, okay, let me ask you some TI questions now. If all couches are sofas and some sofas are love seats, is it necessarily the case that some couches are love seats?
So you said, if is it necessarily
Yeah,
the case that some sofas are love seats?
some couches are love seats. If all couches are sofas and some sofas are love seats, is it necessarily the case that some couches are love seats?
Yeah. No.
No, because it could be that all couches are sofas, but the couches that are sofas are the some sofas that aren't love seats. All right, let's try another one of these. If no penguins fly in the air and I don't fly in the air, Am I necessarily a penguin?
No.
Correct. If only Sasquatches like bananas, and I like bananas, am I necessarily a Sasquatch?
No.
Yes, I am. If only Sasquatches like bananas, then everything that likes bananas must be a Sasquatch.
What the?
Okay, let's move on to another kind of question.
Woo!
So have you heard me ask about world mic power before?
A world mic power.
Yeah, I want you to pretend you have world mic power. World mic power means you get the microphone for 30 seconds and you talk into it, and whatever you say gets broadcast into every language, into everybody's ear directly. So everybody hears you in the world. What do you say with your 30 seconds?
That's hard. Um, Hi, it's me. I'm talking to everybody with this amazing thing. I hope everybody's doing fine. I'm testing this. Anybody that's suffering around the world right now or anything, you're not alone. Hope you guys are okay. Pull through it. Hope you guys are fine. I don't know. I'd say that within the 30 seconds.
That's pretty nice. That's a nice message. When somebody's suffering someplace, well, thanks a lot. You hope I'm fine. That doesn't help at all. Okay. Do you know what emotion you're feeling right now?
Um, Joy. Um, yeah, like joyous, excited, and a little bit of anxiety, but good anxiety. Just because I'm talking to you, really. It's like stupid. It's like it's host Eric. He's not gonna come out of the screen and eat me, you know. Why am I nervous?
It's funny how you, you start making YouTube videos one day for whatever reason, and then a long time later, all of a sudden, you're host Eric. It's weird, but anyway, okay. So let's see. Uh, and do you know how you physically feel right now? Do you have any aches or pains, any crick in the neck, or sore shoulders, or anything like that?
No, if I have like an uncomfortable feeling, it's because I'm leaning forward on my chair. But that's it.
Before you started this, did you pick a specific chair, or did you just sit in whatever chair was there?
No, this chair was already here.
Okay. So you didn't put down a cushion or anything to ensure you were more comfortable?
No, it was already there.
Okay. How about checking the background behind you? Did you say, well, there's a nice blank wall behind me, so this is a good spot, or did you just not think about that?
I was thinking about where to place the laptop for sure. Like, does it show everything? And I was like wondering about that dirty ass like pile of like clean and mixed with dirty clothes, and I was like wondering,
Oh.
and then and then I was like, wait, but Eric is he's also kind of like that, you know. The ENTPs are kind of like that, right? And I'm like, we're both the same. It's
the
all right.
the clean and dirty clothes shuffle is a tragic reality that has happened to me many times. Many times. You think to yourself, well, I'll put the clean clothes over here while start wearing them, and then I'll fold them, right? But then
It's
your clean clothes pile gets too close to your dirty clothes pile. And you go, oh, Jesus, I don't know if this is clean or not. I better be safe and put it in the dirty clothes
well,
pile. Before you know it, you don't have any clean clothes pile anymore.
that's literally when I realize that, oh, I have to go to work tomorrow. All my clothes are dirty. I get everything like done at the last minute. Let me put it in the laundry machine and everything. I don't want to go like stinking like old sweat from like past work days. So
Or the worst is if, like, you realize, oh shit, I don't have a clean pair of socks. And you have to put on some crusty socks.
I've done that. I've done that. Yeah, I just put foot powder in there. Oh, don't worry, this will get the job done. And like the socks are like brown shit because I
Yeah,
just
it's horrible. I'm glad Rachel does the laundry. She doesn't. Not like we have like gender normative tasks. She just happens to do the laundry, and we basically split the dishes. I mostly take out the trash. I do. Well, actually, she probably does about the same amount of cooking as me now. Regardless, um, she doesn't suffer from that. She doesn't mix the dirty and clean clothes piles together.
oh nice, see a little bit more. Yeah, it's just like it's I do care about that. It's just that like I get home from work and the first thing is like instinctually that I do is just I just like change my clothes the other day and just throw them there. Like I don't fold them or anything because it's like I have to do it, and that's the hard part, doing
Right.
it.
Okay. So, but you do go to work. So do you work long days?
Yes, not crazy long, but I do work 8 hour days, 5 days a week. It's
What kind of stuff do you do?
I'm an assembler.
You assemble things.
Yeah, I'm a case assembler. I also cut metal, work with machinery. Nothing too crazy or complex. Just it has it's skilled labor.
That's what you
Um,
call good, honest work.
yeah,
You do real work. Oh, well, you are from Puerto Rico, the land of grapefruit flavor.
hey, grapefruit. Yeah,
Now, here on the West Coast, I like because we have a lot more Mexicans than Puerto Ricans on the West Coast. I say like the only people that you'll never see me bothering or like arguing with are Mexicans because they're the only people doing actual work.
it's I that's a good thing that you said that because I started working like 3 years ago, and just to make this quick, uh, man, I could do anything. I can work, but I need like at this current time, I go to work and I have like issues at work because I go to work, but I just kind of stay in my own lane and stay silent. And I have this weird thing. I have no idea if it's the job that's doing this, the lack of talking to people or whatever, the lack of, I guess, intimate connection with people. It's like I'm at work, I'm working. I don't want people to like come and talk to me, I guess, because I don't want to talk about random stuff. I guess it's weird. I'm in a position where I am exhausted. I don't want to talk to people when I'm at work, but I also do want of people. I'm in this weird contradictory position. It's
so,
strange.
so when you feel like you're desirous of more human company, do you take some sort of step to attain that, like perhaps a dating app or like a meetup kind of thing?
Here's the thing. Now you actually reminded me of that. I've thought deep about that. Yeah, John, you feel lonely and you say you want someone, but you don't. It's like, to give you a little bit more context, I've been in a little bit of a rough patch, specifically last year. I've been in what I believe in sort of a mild depression. And once that depression started, I need to come up with this backstory because this is what led to all this. So I woke up one day and I was apathetic as all hell. I didn't want to do anything. Like, wow, playing video games, not even talking about my anime that I like, what I currently like, nothing just brought me pleasure. I was odd. So from that point onward, I started feeling strange, not happy anymore, just strange. So because of that depression, I've gone around researching and finding out what the hell is wrong with me. And that led me to videos like Jordan Peterson. Then it led me to, oh, you love this guy, C.S. Joseph. It led me to him. And from C.S. Joseph, again, I am condensing everything because I got into typology because it like explained me or what I think is my type. I could be wrong, but I identified with that. I'm like, wow, I can accept myself for who I am, and it kind of eased that feeling of depression, and everything. I'm not weird or anything. Uh, and so I used to watch C.S. Joseph's YouTube videos and all that, and then I jumped onto you. And the reason I like watching your videos is because, hey, this guy's right about C.S. Joseph. That guy is, I don't know, talking a bunch of baloney. Now, so here's the thing. Uh, he was helpful. I did learn about a lot of stuff about him and all his videos. He is helpful. But uh there's this one thing about me that I find incredibly annoying, in which I would watch videos like CS Joseph and then learn about it, and then I would explain it, to other people. And then I saw your videos explaining his stuff, and I'm like, what the hell? It pisses me off about myself that I'm incapable of knowing when that stuff is wrong or anything. And it took seeing watching your videos to like, well, this man's right. This guy is saying a bunch of weird stuff. Like, it makes sense when I put thought into it. It makes sense. I'm like, wow, that is so annoying that I can't
Well,
like.
you're not TI for a stack, so it's like TI is parsing shit for accuracy within itself, internal consistency and stuff like that. If you're
It's like
not front stack, it's you know.
it annoyed me. It annoyed me because I fell for it. It's like, wow, I see this guy. He looks very professional looking. He knows, it sounds truthy, everything he's saying. So I take his word for it. And then, I come across you and I'm like, why am I like that? What the?
Well, I'm grateful that you listen to me, and you obviously have some capacity to tell the difference between bullshit and not, because you successfully chose the less bullshit one as less bullshit.
Yeah, but I obviously need someone like you to like say that because it's like I
Thank
can if
God.
I
Thank God there are people like you who actually find people like me useful. Otherwise, I'm like, what? I would
no, no.
really just be flailing around.
I find it that I seek this is weird about me because I seek knowledge. Like, I learn a lot through your content, but it's like I'm incapable of like doing that myself. It's like I could I could get to like that point where you're at, where learn about it, but I'd rather have someone like you just distill that information onto me so I don't have to do all that. And I
Right.
and I can actually, when I'm talking about my problems, my own suffering, or or whatever, when I talk about my feelings, I can, well, I guess that's what you call parsing, as you said, where I try to find the specific words to make what I'm saying precise as possible and sound good. Because I want to hit the hammer, like,
Okay, well, that's
hit
you.
the hammer.
What you're trying to do there, I think, is nine, which is to say you want a concise, distilled gem expressing the entirety of the thing.
Yeah.
That's actually not parsing. That's a knowledge function.
Okay.
It's consistent with where I'm leaning with you. But let me see if I can nail down for sure what type you are with the following kinds of questions, which should be pretty definitive. So I'm going to come up with an invention, and I would like you to come up with different names that we could sell it as. The marketing department wants you to come up with some snappy names for the new invention. The new invention, it's a polish that you polish your cheekbones with, and after you do that, if somebody shines a flashlight into your face, the cheekbone polish will cause the flashlight to reflect and temporarily blind the person who shines a flashlight at you.
Hmm. Um. Uh. Cheeky flash. That's one. Um, Polish shine.
Okay.
How do you call how do you call the lights on the bikes so you see them at night?
Like reflectors?
Yeah, beauty flector.
Okay. How about this one? Cheek my blind spot.
Check my line. Wow.
Okay, so let's see here. This is interesting. That was not really what I expected. Okay. Um, so, okay, let me ask some values questions. Which value in general do you think is more important for you to uphold in the world? Being reliable, reliable, or making a big impact?
Reliable.
Okay.
Big impact seems like, damn, I could do that for sure, but I need encouragement. I need to know what I'm doing. That's too ambitious, which I'm not really an ambitious person, so reliable.
Okay. How about reliable or efficient?
Wait. Say it again. Reliable or efficient?
Yeah.
Reliable again.
Okay. How about do you think that you trust more your experience or your instincts?
My experience. If I have no experience in something, I find it really daunting.
Okay. Can you tell me about your eating habits?
Uh, okay, so I eat. I guess I eat. I work. So let's say a normal work day. I skip breakfast.
Excuse me.
Oh, don't worry about it. Must be good. Must be good. All right, so I skip breakfast, partially because I don't like eating too close to when I wake up. But whenever I'm hungry, which I do get hungry at breakfast, I often don't do anything just because I don't want to cook. It's literally boils down to I'd rather starve than eat. Wow. Lunch, same thing. Although I would often also come back home and eat some leftovers. But if I have to prepare something, I have to think and plan it and see what I'm gonna do. But it's annoying. And yeah. So on a work day, I would eat about like 2 times a day, which is dinner when I come out of work. And the second meal would be probably what I ate for dinner or something that I come up with. And around that time, I would also go scrounging around for sweets.
Okay. Um, if do you remember the last time you went to the supermarket?
Yeah, today. Yeah.
Okay.
But
How,
before,
yeah. How about before today?
I can't tell you precisely, but
Okay.
uh,
Let's go through today's supermarket trip. Can you walk me through your trip to the supermarket from when you walked into the door to when you walked out of the door?
yeah, I walked in, past the cashiers, and started going through each uh aisle, basically. I went through the first aisle. I got milk. I got eggs. I kept going. Uh, I believe I got some. Tostitos, basically chunky salsa. I kept going. Uh, I don't know what I got next. I don't remember. I didn't know we passed through like the beauty section. Nothing there. Then we grabbed some chickens. Chicken breast to cook. We kept going. I think after that, I went to like the fruits and the vegetable section, grabbed some peaches. Went to get some vegetables, but those broccolis were doo-doo looking, so I didn't grab them.
Hmm.
And
You don't want to get wilty broccoli.
it wasn't wilty. It was like discolored.
It was kind of yellow.
No, it was like the green spots were like black, like kind of blacky. Like
Yeah, you don't want to get that
that's
part
not no.
Do you have a
And
favorite vegetable?
oh, carrots.
Carrots, huh?
Wait, but do you know what like jackfruit, yam? Do you know
Yeah.
what those things are? Those are vegetables too, right?
Well, I don't know if jackfruit's a vegetable, but yams are they're tubers. You could call them vegetables, I guess.
Okay, well, I don't even know if they're vegetables,
Do you like
but
yams better than regular potatoes?
yes.
Okay, that's just crazy.
But that it's like that's what we eat in Puerto Rico though. Like people from the mountains, like
Hmm.
the rural folk,
Hmm.
they eat yam, jackfruit, plantains, codfish, onions, e- eggs. They do like they get those like fruit that are uh I know the word in Spanish, but I can't think of it right now in English. But
What is it in Spanish?
uh in Spanish it's called cosechar. It's when you get when the vegetables are ready to
Cosechar.
yeah, cosechar. Oh, you said it perfectly. Whoa.
I do speak a little bit of Spanish.
Oh,
I always like to keep at the ready in case I need it. My warning: hay
um,
demasiado chupacabras en este pueblo.
oh, that's crazy. How
Yeah,
did they get?
because you never know when you're going to go into a small Mexican village and be surrounded by chupacabras.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. So then let me ask you about your sleeping habits. Do you go to bed at the same time most nights?
On work days, I always try to sleep early, but I always end up sleeping at like around 10. No, actually, let's skip sometimes maybe, but that's rare. Between 11 and 1. But I can pass that. Even though I want to sleep early, I tend to be active at night for some reason. I don't
Okay. What happens if you don't get enough sleep and you have to get up and go to work? How does that impact your day?
know. Makes me hungrier, makes me feel like I don't want to get out of bed and get there, and I feel like shit. But I work through it because I don't learn any better. I keep doing the same thing.
Okay. Are you more likely to spend too long trying to figure out how to do something yourself before asking somebody? Or are you more likely to ask somebody something that you should have easily been able to figure out yourself?
Well, that kind of depends on the situation. If okay, but if I would rather
Can
see
you
if
think of
I'm
examples? Can you think of any examples of either of those things happening?
um let's say in the workplace, I will I will actually try to solve it myself. And I will think really hard. Like I try to see the logic behind things. Like I try my best to make sense out of it, just to try to like gain an edge, like to know things. I like knowing why do I have to do this like this? Because of this, this, and that. And I try to like, you know, kind of like figure out the logic of things to understand it. And sometimes I can find it on my own. If I'm blocked, then I go ask someone.
So
For some things,
what
yeah.
you mean by that first part is basically you try to spend enough time observing the thing before taking any action. Is that right?
Uh, I guess I guess perhaps.
Okay.
Um,
So when what makes you feel like well what's the process by which because you're describing a process where you're somehow paying attention to this thing, this presumably like maybe like machine shop stuff or whatever, right? So and
oh,
you're
I
you're
can
trying to
explain it.
decide if you can figure it out or if you have to ask somebody. Can you walk me through that more?
Yeah. So if I have to figure out how a goddamn machine works, like let's say at work the upcut or the V notcher breaks or something, and I'm like, what the hell just happened? I'm not gonna sit there and just try to solve that on my own. I could try and like figure out, but it's like I know I'm not gonna get anywhere probably, so I just go ask, and it's safer to ask. In a situation where I would do it myself, it's like more with like damn, I actually don't know.
Let's pretend you're at home and your doorknob is loose. It's still attached. You can turn it, but it's loose and it's getting more and more jiggly.
Yeah,
What do you do?
I would look at it and like kind of observe, like try to see why it's loose, and I would like try to figure out why it's loose. And if I, for my life, cannot figure out the shit of that thing, I'll just go to my dad, and my dad will probably fix it.
Okay. Is he good at fixing stuff like that?
Uh, that's also a hard question because damn, I've never fixed something like that. Like it's just I need to have knowledge. Like let's say my car. I'm notoriously bad at that. But I I I can try like let's say, oh, my the car hood, the lid doesn't close on my Honda. And I'm figuring out what the fuck is behind that. And I'm just there looking at everything. What does this might do? I don't know. Does this have to do with this? And just touching everything, seeing if like the latch is wrong. And I just couldn't figure it out. So I just Googled it and it was something really simple.
What was it?
It was like it was like a little it's hard to explain, but it was like a switch, like a lever. And I had to like get a screwdriver and pull that lever down so that it would actually clamp.
I
It's
see.
hard to explain it, but
I see. Okay, cool. Interesting. Very interesting. So, would you say you're bad, notoriously bad at your car compared to other people, or compared against your ideal, or what?
I would say I'm bad because I just don't have the knowledge. Like I could, I would honestly, I don't like doing that, especially because I don't give a damn about cars at all. In fact, I got told by my dad once, "You're like a woman with cars. How do you not notice that this is like fucked up or something?" I'm like, bro, listen, man, I don't give a damn. Okay, you gotta help me out. Okay, but anything, uh, um, I would rather know everything first and then delve into it to gain experience and see. Like now I know everything. Now I know the car's anatomy and everything. That this does this, this does that, and this lever like switches with that. I know what I'm dealing with, so maybe I'll have a better understanding of what how to fix that. Uh,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Okay, so I have a typing for you. and it's not INFP. Uh, I have a very high degree of confidence that you are an ISTJ.
Really?
Yes, and I also figured that you probably didn't expect to be typed as such because you probably feel as though you've got a good, strong interest in a lot of stuff that intuitives typically are interested in, and I'm sure that's accurate. ISTJs are. I typed a really brilliant ISTJ the other day that anybody else would have mistyped as INTJ. I'll tell you. But the thing is, the key element is the SI. Your amount of SI detail is much too robust and much too second nature for you to be backslot SI. So that eliminates ISFP. You're definitely not an INFP because your NE is either 4 or 7 or 8, maybe 5, but it's not. It's definitely not 1 or 2. So I feel pretty confident, very confident that you're an ISTJ.
ISTJ. That I'm probably are IST like question. Are ISTJs lazy as shit or something?
um, Kind of, I guess. The thing is, being an SI Dom means first and foremost you have a place to retreat to at all times, which is if worst comes to worst, you can make yourself physically comfortable
Yes.
and be happy with not with just feeling good physically and stuff.
Yeah, like I after work, literally what I do is just come home and just like probably binge watch anime or something. Just feel good about it. I literally take care of myself in that aspect, and we're like, I need to finish that, whatever. Uh, me first. Don't nobody bother me. I'm taking care of myself.
Um, so that's consistent with an SI Dom, and of course, while you don't seem to explicitly value impactfulness a great deal, you display a great deal of respect for impactfulness when you
Mhm.
say things like, "Well, if the machine's broken like this, then that's too risky. I'm going to ask somebody else." That's a sense of the significance of impacts playing a role,
Yeah,
but it is ignoring, so you don't have a lot of conscious attentional awareness of it per se.
yeah, but I want to also ask that's strange though. But how come then do ISTJs relate to a lot of INFP stuff, or that depends on the individual, I guess.
It's the same functions in different order.
Different order, yeah.
And in fact, not only is it the same functions, but you both of them have epistemology functions in the 1 and the 3, and then they've got action and interface in the 2 and the 4. So it's like they're it's very easy to mistake them because ISTJ has SI as an absolute value, as a dominant absolute value, FI as an absolute value, SE as an absolute value, and then lastly, the most unconscious but still absolute value is for INFP. No, ISFP. Yeah, no, INFP is SI SE. Right. So SE, SI, FI, and FE are INFP absolute values. They're the same for ISTJ and the same instrumental values as well. And it's the same 4 functions in the front stack, and they're both introverts. So it's like it's really easy to mistake them. The reason I know you're not I and not a INFP is your extroverted intuition is not second slot.
So what would a second slot NE look like?
Okay, so second slot NE. When I talk to you about like the woman and her stepmother meeting, right? First or second slot NE goes, okay, well, regular reason they're there because they're discussing um, the the daughter's upcoming wedding, and then which is like what you said. But then when it comes to the disparate reason, I'd say, well, I mean, the daughter's got molten magma in her purse, which she plans to
What the?
present to present on the table when the food comes, so that she can make her famous baked Alaska. But the problem is the girl doesn't really know what baked Alaska is, and she just intuited from the name of it that what it means is you create a piece of land, and the only way she can think to create a piece of land naturally is to let molten lava cool, and then bake that into the shape of Alaska. So she's going to attempt to do this at the table at the restaurant in order to prove herself to her mom, who doesn't believe that she's a good cook.
Yeah, I could never do that. No, definitely. What the fuck?
That's extrovert intuition
So I,
dominant.
that's crazy because I always like I would associate what was happening with me at work. Like I do this at work. I go at work and like I don't look at people. Like I don't want to look at their face. I don't want to like interact because it, like I'm already tired. Like I don't want to deal with
Fe polar. You don't
that.
want any data about the other person's feelings because having to process that is exhausting for you, hits you right in the polar. I also don't like processing FE data because it's third slot for me, so it's selfish. So I also do this thing where when people are talking to me, I do not look at their face. I'll tend to look at the ground. I listen better when I'm not looking at them.
Mhm.
And but the difference between you and me is I'm very much picking up on all the same sort of things that their face might be saying, but in their tone, which I'm most comfortable listening to that kind of data rather than seeing it. So, whereas you are trying to avoid that kind of data entirely, and you probably really don't like it when people are too glad handy in ways that you're not sure why they're doing it. For example, like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?"
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes like I was at work and this guy was like was saying, "Whoa, you wow, you're such a good with staining." And I'm just looking at him like, "Really? All I'm just doing is just brushing it up like this." And I was taking it like if like he genuinely meant like to be nice, but I took it as like, are you like trying to patronize me or something? Like, dude, it's easy.
He was probably just an FE type. You know,
I'm
and also if you're genuinely TE polar, things that you think are easy, they don't necessarily think are easy. I've had Rachel sometimes say, like, "Oh, thanks for explaining that to me," and I think, "Did you really need me to explain that to you?" Well, actually, probably she did.
right, yeah.
It's
It's
yeah, we project our own capabilities as a norm onto everybody. People are less capable at what you're capable at than you think.
oh, hmm. I always downplay myself at all times. The reason I associated myself with high NFP so strongly is because like that is not true that I don't feel uh like a slight. I'm not an arrogant person. I kind of detest that. I don't like people when they're arrogant. I find it annoying and with like INFP stuff, saying how they're humble and that they're really modest. I'm like, yeah, that's me. Like let's say an example like this, like I bought an I bought an iPhone 10 once when I was in Puerto Rico. Not me. My grandpa bought it for me. And I never pulled it out once because I just didn't want people making comments about it. Nor didn't I didn't want also like I'm very aware. Like even when you're talking about like with friends about how much money you make, I don't like doing that because I don't want to elicit. I know you can elicit envy, these bad emotions in other people, even your closest friends, when you're not trying to do that. So I don't, you know. And I'm like, oh, that must be an FI Dom thing. I'm
No,
totally
no, I think that's a when you know you're terrible at at rafting the whitewater rapids, then you avoid even the calm parts of the water. and
oh
and that's basically what you're doing is you're saying I want to avoid anything that elicits fe stuff happening. Whereas And FI Dom, they're ignoring FE. They're going to assume their own autopilot's always going to be right and fine, even though it's not always. But that's what we do with our fifth laws. We assume we'll always have that good enough. You talk about yourself as though you don't do stuff, but you act as though and assume in life that you'll always be good enough, at least, at doing what you have to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. It's kind of like you're pulling the rug underneath me, but it doesn't feel bad in a way. Like I do.
I get it. That this is a big ontological shock when people put a lot of energy into one map of themselves and then go, "Oh shit, I've had the wrong map." But your map wasn't terribly wrong, okay? Like I said, they're very similar types in terms of their absolute values, their instrumental values, their actual conscious stack, the fact that they're both introverts. The only difference is instead of being a deliberator who takes their time to decide with their feelings what they want most,
Yeah,
you're predominantly a knower, that you look to your experience and see what you already know about things. And when you don't know things, you try to learn them. That's an SI
yeah,
thing.
yes. Holy fuck, that is good. Okay, just one more question too, man. I Is this an ISTJ thing to like just love learning from like people? Because I do like that a lot. I don't know, like I said earlier, it's like
It's an SI thing in general to think that the way one knows things is by accumulating piles of learning.
yeah, yeah. But if only I weren't too lazy and I would start things like reading a book. Like for example, there's this website called Khan Academy, and I'm trying to learn stuff because I'm vastly ignorant, vastly ignorant. I understand that. So it's like I'm taking like an economy and economics course to learn of just basic stuff like credit card and all that. This is so strange that you're saying I'm an ISTJ now because it like what the
Well,
like it's like as an ISTJ then I don't really care about this is so strange about me. Growing up, I always thought I was weird because I'm like other kids like driving cars and they like climbing up the hierarchy, they like getting a job and doing all this stuff. And I'm over here just like society's doing its own thing and I'm not like doing what they're
you aren't putting on a show for anybody. Everybody who's not FE polar is to some extent or another, some of the time, putting on a show for everybody. If you're FE third like me, you're constantly putting on a show for everybody.
wow, that's crazy interesting. So you actually this is true because I've struggled especially with romantic interest. And I guess now I understand that my FE polar can be hurting me, and I've acknowledged that. I just never knew it was FE polar because this thing would happen to me where like probably like when I like a girl, I act like I don't like her, even though I really do, and I pass her. I pass the girl I like, and I'm so cold. I ignore her. I ignore her when I really do just want to genuinely bond with her. But I'm also thinking of like I'm not gonna get near her because I don't want other people thinking that I like her or anything, and I never do anything. And then my emotions just die. I just this is something that I do like because I don't want to I'm so scared to go to that person I like. I just kind of shovel my emotions and just kill them, because I never do anything.
Well,
And
next time you have a chick in your scopes, then you just got to remember to talk to her about personality type. Personality type is a very rich topic to discuss. So you could say, like, have you ever heard of personality type as a way of starting? Um, and and then if you really get stuck, you can say, look, the thing is, I want to chat you up, but my personality type is shitty at chatting up girls. Can you
it's
help? Can you help me learn how?
I also thought like too that I was an SE polar. because like I could I have trouble asserting myself around like a, a girl I like. Like I used to like this girl back in high school, and she was giving me clear signs like, you know, come near me, like go for the kiss. And I didn't. I was like, I'm not gonna do that. I also don't like walking up to a girl and like asking her, "Hey, how you doing?" No, I don't. If I try to approach her, it's like softly,
Well,
like
and it's because you are somebody who, first and foremost, needs to already have experience with somebody to feel comfortable interacting with them.
wow. Oh,
That's kind of a tough trap, right? So you'll probably have to have a couple of canned intros that you can sort of memorize and pull out. If you find some hay, I recommend go up to a girl with some hay in your hand, and then say "girl," and when she turns around, say "hey."
wow. Well, that's great then.
No,
Well,
that's ask an ESTP dating advice, not me.
god damn. Wow, it's so strange because like wow, I don't know, man. That's so I'm in time to watch a lot of typing with famous people ISTJ videos after this.
You know what? Channel search Cam or Cameron. My friend Cameron, who's in a lot of videos with over the years with me. He's an ISTJ, and he's like the IRL friend that I probably spend more time with than any other IRL friend. I'm not counting Rachel, obviously. I see him more than anybody else, basically, that's not my dad or my daughter or Rachel. So it's like ISTJs and ENTPs do get along well, and especially when we work together on stuff. Cameron and I worked together to make a music video. He drew some pictures for me, and it came out great. And also, he's helped me with like, because certain kind of things I go like, oh, I'm gonna fuck this shit. Like, I need
Yeah.
to. I one time I had this saw that's it's called a scroll saw, and I couldn't figure out how to. The blade became detached from it, and I couldn't figure out how to put it back on. And I was just like, Cameron, can you come help me with this?
Wow. So that's crazy. I wonder if I like, wow. Now I'm just thinking, have I even typed like someone like my mother right? Which I've always assumed she was an ESFJ.
Well, you can get a lot of typing knowledge or information about somebody from asking some SI questions. SI people like us will be able to, and we'll regularly give a lot of detailed stories that include a lot of details that may not be relevant to anything, like all the shit you did at the supermarket, right? Whereas NI types really won't do that. Maybe ESTPs will a little bit if you push on them, but if you get that SI in the 7 or 8, they're just never going to give you those kind of details.
So what, like, if a type, what do you generally get from a person? Like, what type that first comes to mind when a person's always talking to you about like she always says the same thing about past traumatic events. She always brings it up, like about her father, always bringing it up with detail, the same thing. Like, I know, mom, I know, yeah, but she always brings it up because it has strong feelings attached to it.
I
And
mean that does sound kind of like an ESFJ move because uh, part and parcel of always bringing it up is being potentially being NI polar. If you're not NI polar, you're NI eighth. You're a knower, which means you're pretty strong in both knowledge functions. It's just your NI super unconscious. Now, an ESFJ is a knower in the instrumental tool function, and their other knowledge function is polar. If you're NI polar, you are much more susceptible to repeating things ad nauseum because you don't get that other people get the point already and don't need to hear it again.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so it
Ex-
does sound kind of like an ESFJ move, but it's hard to say. I can't type it from
yeah, yeah, I know from this shit.
vicariously or whatever.
Yeah, and so okay, I don't have SE polar. I am SE ignoring.
Yeah, it's
What
an
what
it basically functions like an absolute value. Your own SE will be quite what you want it to be in certain contexts, and then sometimes you'll you'll have a boneheaded SE moment. I'm not exactly sure what a boneheaded SE moment is like, but a boneheaded NI moment is like when Rachel and I were fishing one time, and I picked this spot where there were these tree limbs over where we were fishing, and because I could kind of like shoot it out there and avoid the trees, but she kept getting her shit tangled in the trees. And she said, "I think we should move." And I'm like, "Well, no, we could figure out how to get her on the trees." And I said, "No, Eric, stop. Yes, you were right. We should move. Stop being an idiot." You know. So that's an
Yeah.
example of an NI ignoring boneheaded moment where I ignored the fact that don't put yourselves underneath the trees.
Oh, okay, okay. So SE ignoring, then I have so I'm TI polar.
No, no, no. No,
No,
you're
wait,
not.
wait.
No, you're
wait.
TI 6, countervalued, and also it's your critical parent, which you could hear when you were talking about yourself believing C.S. Joseph. You're angry at yourself for gullibility. That's consistent with TI 6.
Wow. My goodness. Man, I've enjoyed this session a lot, especially this ending part. So TI 6, I'm FE polar, FE
FE
polar.
polar, yeah.
And then my eighth is NI, which is strong.
Hmm.
And SC ignoring. And my fourth function is
Any extroverted intuition. That's why when I asked you the invention test, you gave me three distinct answers, which any polar will not do what you will not be able to do what you did, which is give me three answers that quickly, you know, which isn't it wasn't a lot. You didn't show me a lot of any, but it was more than polar, and uh, and yet you also talk about things that are very consistently four slot extroverted intuition, like you don't want to be put on the spot, right?
yeah, no.
That's every fourth slot any person says that.
Like as the spot is in like spotlight as to other people see me, you
No,
mean? Like,
like you don't want somebody to say, all of a sudden, without giving you any heads up or warning, hey, come over here and tell us all about yeah.
no.
Yeah, you don't
I'll
like
be
the idea of that.
comfortable. I'd be like, what?
Whereas to me, that sounds like great fun.
Wow, that's crazy. Like, man, okay, okay. So, and my child function. So I'm SITE parent, I believe.
But I mean, I don't use those terms, but TE is the tool function,
T
the
second slot.
second slot function, which is an instrumental value. So it's you don't actually think it's super important to be able to figure shit out for its own reason. You think it's important to figure shit out so that you can remember and learn it, so you won't have to figure it out again, and or so that you can get what you want by figuring out how to get what you want, which is
Right.
FI. Yeah, it's a sensible way to be. I've always said ICJ is probably the most logical configuration for a person to be. They learn and know from their experience. They figure out shit that they haven't experienced yet. They do so in search of getting what they want. And if that's not enough, then they can come up with a few new ideas too, because it's still front stack.
Wow. So I'm FI. Oh, I'm FI child.
FI is in the third slot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm so like
I just find you using these terms. It's just I don't trust myself to have get them right, so I just say my thing instead.
listen, that's what happens when you watch C.S. Joseph, man.
Mhm.
I was watching your video yesterday. No, not yesterday, today actually. I was taking a shower and I was laughing at this video that you were commenting to a viewer. I forgot her name, but you were talking about like you were just roasting her. Like talking about oh, you're just she said something stupid and you're like something talking about oh because I go for righteousness and I bring the hammer down and I started laughing so hard.
I got super ericy. In other words, I always feel a little bit embarrassed at my excessive bursts of ericness, but
No,
But
I
thank
mean,
you.
like,
I appreciate the feedback and the kind words. I do. Thank you.
definitely. I found this typing session to be incredibly enlightening. In fact, actually, like, I wasn't even like, I wasn't be like, whoa, if I'm another type, I'm not gonna be disappointed or anything. That's the right thing. Yeah, like, I think, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, especially that SI. Dog, like, I
Yeah.
need experience first. And it's true. Like, I don't feel comfortable around, like, you know, if I have no experience with you as a person, and that's weird. That I
It
found,
makes it tough to start new relationships.
yeah, it's strange, and I always like, I guess ISTJs and INFPs are kind of similar now that I have like that like thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Okay, so I'm going to stop this recording now.